Dan, big welcome to you. I want to first hear about the inspiration for you, for the band, behind the song Hope for the Future in the documentary. Tell me about that.
Thank you so much for having me. Well, I was sent the film by the producers and the director Orlando in the midst of lockdown, actually, and watched it on my laptop sitting here on this sofa. And it's just a remarkably moving film. It's incredibly, it's obviously absolutely devastating what happened to that community and to all of those families who were affected. But there's a real string of hope alongside the kind of grief in the film. I think what it does brilliantly is take the issues of climate change that can seem so sort of incomprehensibly far away and so distant from a lot of us in our daily lives. But, these are issues that are affecting people all over the world increasingly. And this takes a really personal story, how it affected people physically, and how it affected this community, but then becomes about positive ways that we can affect change, through the right kind of tree planting. And anyway, I watched the film, sat here, and the producers and director had said, we'd love you to write a song for the end credits. And the credits rolled and they were silent because there was no music there yet. I was sitting on this sofa, like blubbing away. I was like in floods of tears because and I don't often cry at films, but it's just so beautiful and affecting. And then I thought, oh God, the last thing anyone needs in the world is a Bastille song to come in right now. But I spoke to them about what to do and was, really moved by it. And so I picked up a guitar, and I don't normally write at the guitar, and just picked up a guitar and just started writing. And this song kind of fell out. And the team seemed to feel like it really kind of summed up I guess the feeling of the film. And it's a song that we're hugely proud of, and it's quite a different sounding song for us, but we really love it, and are just super honored to be involved in a film like this with such an important message.
Well, it sounds to me like it's a song that's been born out of a passion that you're holding right now, and it's probably among the most beautiful things of this film. But when we talk about the important message in the film, that climate change affects everyone, I'm reminded this particular fire, 2017, the very next year, Paradise, California, a very small town, 2018, erupted in flames. I mean, this is not an isolated incident. So talk about the global crisis and what this specific documentary highlights.
I mean, like I said before, I think what it does really brilliantly is show, both on a community level, but also like families who are absolutely devastated and ripped apart by this, children who are lost, entire communities that are affected. This is happening all over the world, both with wildfires, and the UN predicts a 50% increase in extreme forest fires by the end of the century. So this is such a huge problem for places that will be affected by things like fires, but also, of course, like flooding, sea rising, like the drastically changing weather. Like I live in the UK, and it's a cliche for a reason that it's a rainy, grey country, and London is a dripping, constantly grey and cloudy old town. But this summer has been insanely hot. We had some of the hottest weather in the world for a while. And I know, again, it's a British cliche to talk about the weather, but it's tangible, it's real, it's affecting all of us. And be that a slight increase in temperature or, absolutely devastating events that are kind of ripping through communities and taking away people's homes and taking away people's lives. Like it couldn't be more tangible. And it's obviously a really interesting time where there are amazing people like Greta who are, and so many campaigners and activists and scientists and these people who've spent their lives researching and finding out the truth behind all of why this is happening and speaking as loudly as they can. But I think it's quite hard to cut through. I think we as people have this really amazing ability to sometimes not be affected by something until it affects you personally or someone that you know. And that's true for anything, throughout life. But I think what this film does really well and why it really resonated with me is because it makes it personal. And I think sometimes it's important with these things, like anything in politics, like anything, in the sort of global reality that is climate change. You need to see how it's on a sort of daily, hourly, familiar basis affecting people and just destroying lives. And hopefully Yeah, hopefully it does. I think it does it brilliantly.
And you know
Sorry.
what, Dan? I'm going to say you're an amazing spokesperson for it. I mean, I know you're not the producer. I know you're not the creator. You've created something beautiful within, but I appreciate the personal note. I mean, you clearly have a lot of passion here. So thank you for speaking with us about it. I'm sure after this interview, a lot of people are going to tune in. You have yourselves a great Saturday. Let's remind all of you the film is From Devil's Breath. It premieres tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern here on MSNBC. It will also be streaming on Peacock. Next, 4 days in